Hello. Today I want to do an exercise with you regarding fear. See, since we began with this whole coronavirus thing, for a lot of my clients, for yourself and people you know, one of the things that's triggering is a lot of fear and anxiety. And what's interesting about fear, any emotion really, is the emotion it's not in the here and now. Emotions are always a recall of a past event that was very traumatizing or fear-based or anxious, right? And that then reminds you of an even previous memory. So when you want to work with the fear of coronavirus, for example, you need to think about the underlying causes. And if you work on those, the memories, the past traumatic elements or fears, it'll make you very much more able to be completely present and resourceful and empowered and able to deal with what's happening right now much more calmly and in control. So I'll give you an example. One of my clients, when all this started up, I thought, wow, I'm pretty sure quite a few of my sessions with, my different clients, we're going to be addressing what this current situation is is making them feel. And so one of my clients was really fearful of ending up in a hospital. And so I asked him, and this is what we're going to be doing. I asked him about that fear, like moving away the whole thing. What is it about going to the hospital that he most fears? And so he really just touched into the fear. What is it I'm fearing? And he said, trapped. For him, the fear is being trapped. He could not stand the thought that he would be trapped in a bed in a hospital or with a ventilator and not be able to move. For another client, the fear might be the unknown, or the fear of choking, or the fear of being alone. So this is the exercise we're going to do. I want you to take a moment and think about any fears, anxieties that this whole situation that we're currently living, how it's feeling in your body, what you're saying to yourself. And ask yourself, what is this fear really about? Is it fear of being alone, trapped, unknown, pain? That's it. And once you get an inkling of that, what I want you to do is I want to invite you to think back of the first time or the most important time, the first idea, first thought, first memory that comes up. What does this fear remind me of in my past? Is it an elevator experience? Is it choking on a nut? What is this fear reminding me of? Good. And this is the memory we're going to work on. We're going to work on this past memory that allow us to be more present today with this whole situation of the coronavirus without getting that memory re-triggered. And you might need to do this several times with several different memories, but let's do this with the first one that shows up now, which is perfect. Okay. Now, the thing about fears and situations that feel very unresolved or which just thinking about it's like, ugh, is that we get stuck in like the worst parts of that event. It's almost like watching a movie and, all you see in the movie, like Psycho, all you see is just that one event, not the whole story, not the whole thing. You just keep seeing like looped the worst part of the movie. That's a terrible movie, isn't it? Well, we want to help you and your mind feel more resourceful and not so triggered about that event. So what you're going to do right now, when you think about it, that event, that past event that caused you fear, what happened after the event? A moment after the event, which was positive, empowering, which you, in the moment when you realized, I'm okay, you know, it's uphill from here. I'll give you an example. Last year, I cut my finger very deeply. And if I think about, of course, that or the having to go to the hospital twice, et cetera, you know, but if I think about, well, what happened afterwards, just that moment after these events, and maybe it was a day or two later, you know, a week later. Well, I know that 2 days later, I had my hand in a bandage. I had a sock covering my finger so it wouldn't get dirty. And I was back to working on my trailer, which I'm renovating. And so it was kind of funny because my hand would be up here while I'm doing everything with my other hand, right? And I was quite content. And it was a little frustrating sometimes, trying to hold the tools with only one hand and things, but I was quite content. So that would be that memory. Having my hand up, working on my trailer, okay? So find one of those. And now think about a memory before the event, a good memory. It could be a regular day, connection. It could be something in particular. So for example, in my case, my boyfriend had brought me some Spanish jamon, which unfortunately I didn't cut it very well, which is what happened. But in my case, getting home after work and finding this big jamon in my kitchen really filled me in that moment, until everything else happened, really filled me with, "Aw, thank you so much." So for me, that memory before the fearful experience that I want to mark is going to be coming home and finding this present. So think about that in your event. What happened before that was actually quite pleasant? And pause this recording if you need to, or if you need more time. So now you have two. You have a memory that happened afterwards where you felt empowered, things were kind of starting to get resolved and kind of uphill from here. Even though maybe later other things complicated, this is really marks the end of that not so great event. And then you have the memory, the pleasant memory before anything happened. Okay, now what you're going to do is you're going to fully step into the pleasant event afterwards and really get into it. And if you need to stand up because that's what you were doing, stand up, pantomime it, really see it, feel it, hear it. Do that now. Go fully into that memory that happened after your negative experience, that you felt empowered, good, things are going better from here on out, everything's going to be okay. Again, there might be another chapter that wasn't okay, but right at that moment, there was that light at the end of the channel. And so take a moment to fully be, oh, see, there's me, and my finger is up, and I'm renovating my trailer. Now open your eyes and now go, now you're going to come to the very beginning, to that first memory, that pleasant memory before. So now fully step into that pleasant memory before the negative event and see what you saw, hear what you heard, feel what you felt, really crank it up. And now open your eyes, look around your room, take a breath. And we're going to do it again. So now go back to that memory at the end, the empowering memory when things are starting to resolve themselves, and fully step into that, be in that position, that moment, that feeling, that experience. And now go all the way backwards to the very beginning and be in that moment, that memory, that pleasant memory before the event happened. Now open your eyes, look around, see what area of your room has the most light. And now, once again, you're going to jump into that last memory, that memory that is empowering after everything is beginning to resolve. And be fully in that moment. Good. And now go backwards to the very beginning and be fully in that pleasant memory that happened before the negative event. Then open your eyes, look at your toes. And now we're going to do it one last time. Go back to the very end, to that memory at the very end, that empowering memory where things are going to begin to resolve, where that negative situation, that particular negative situation is over. And fully be in that memory of empowerment, of completion, of moving on. And imagine it as if it's happening now. And now zip all the way backwards to the very beginning, to that pleasant memory before the negative experience. And relive that pleasant memory fully. And now open your eyes and come fully back to here. And now think of that negative experience of the past and notice where your mind goes. In my own experience of this, I almost feel like my mind tries to kind of go through it and it kind of bounces off these two rather pleasant memories. So it's kind of nice. It kind of bookends this experience. Now take this experience, put it behind you. And now think about COVID-19, coronavirus, and just notice how you are with it now. Has it shifted? How are your emotions? Do you feel more grounded and in the now and able to respond to this amazing situation we're living through? And again, as I said before, there might be several memories, and you can do this exercise with them. Now, this is a short process, not a panacea, but it is very effective in kind of clearing up a little bit those continuous triggers we have so that we can live fully in the moment and respond right here, right now. Hope to see you in another video. Bye-bye.